practice with a nutritional program as well. Also, some research was done on it by Dr. Beverly Rubik, and she's from the University of California at Berkeley. She's also sat on the National Institutes of Health, and she did 2 studies with it, or analysis with it, using 2 different types of testing, which was the electromeridian analysis system, the EMAS, which looks at all the different acupuncture points. And she also did the GDV, which is the gas discharge visualization, which looks at the auric field of the person. So she did pre and post on it, and she said that it was a significant difference. And on the acupuncture points, almost all of them normalized after a 26-minute session, which she was pretty surprised at. She said, "What is in this machine?" So people always ask me, how is this machine different than other energy devices out there? Well, I can't speak for all of them since I don't know all of them, but in my quest, I did come across a lot of them, and without mentioning names or anything, all I know is that I have never found anything that is exactly like Trinfinity 8. The others do work on frequency waves, on specific frequencies, and electrical currents, and coils and discharges and so forth. Trinfinity 8 does not work on electrical currents or frequencies. I mean, everything is a frequency, but not specific frequencies. They're waveforms, vibratory waveforms, and everything is digital, mathematically coded. None of the others deal with mathematical code. And that is the wave of the future. Everything is mathematically coded. And as my guidance has said, our DNA is perfect. And there's this whole new study looking at DNA called epigenetics, and looking at how genes are altered by certain activities. Well, my guidance kind of came through and said, well, that's part of the picture. It's affecting that, but what it is awakening the DNA. And it's already perfect. It's just evolving. And man will see that all that junk DNA, I mean, when we come down to it, do you know that we only understand 95% of our DNA? I mean, we only understand 5% of our DNA, and the other 95% we've classified as junk because we just don't understand it. Well, that's where all the real interesting stuff is done, and I think that's where our science is headed. If people are interested, they can go to www.trinfinity8.com and look at other research on the device. As I welcome researchers that are out there, and because I'm learning new things about this device every day. I don't know all the answers as well. Sometimes I wish they would have imparted this information to a scientist, because ironically enough, math was my least desired subject. I didn't do very well in it in school, and so when the real scientists started asking me to explain things, I said, well, you might be able to explain some things better than I do on this. So, but I'm still learning. Trinfinity 8 is, we've used it in all different modes. We've used it with children. I haven't had a chance to use it with pets yet, but I've also used it within a group mode. One person holding in a circle, one person holding the crystal on one end, another end, all holding hands. And I've had some people say that they felt charges tingling in their hands, and one person talked about feeling a sense of peace and calm, that the world would be okay, and up until that point they hadn't felt that. Where other people talked about seeing visions. So this device is a futuristic. It's what I call algorithmic anti-aging. Everything is algorithms. And I invite you to take a look at it and see for yourself and experience what you can. It's interesting to hear the feedback from people who have been on Trinfinity 8. All different, it runs the gamut. And I've had one psychologist get on and say she wasn't at first, really was kind of reticent about it because she had seizures, and she thought that the fractals, and that's something I hadn't discussed before, there's a fractal resonator in Trinfinity 8. In fact, there's many different components to it. It has over 1,000 of different anti-aging formulas that have all been broken down into harmonic mathematical coded. It also has a quantum interface that magnifies whatever the user's intent is. It has a fractal resonator, which amplifies, again, the user's intent. Now, fractals are charges of waves, and they're like bits of millions of information replicated into many times into a whole. It's like a holographic of a whole. And I was also told that using fractals would enhance again whatever was playing behind it, which are the mathematical formulas. It also has Salveggio frequency tones in that, and these tones are the oldest tones known to man. They tune every different energy center, some call them chakras in the body, and tuning them to a specific type of tonal frequency. So it was very important to listen to these frequencies through earphones, because carrier waves of energy is sound, and it goes straight into the cellular system. So, and of course through the quartz crystal rods. So when this person, getting back to the psychologist, she saw these fractals, she goes, "Oh, that's probably going to make me feel like a seizure coming on." And I said, "Well, if it does, here you can get out of it right away, the program." So she was on it for over 15 minutes, and afterwards she came off and she goes, "I am really surprised. That's the most stable I've felt in years." So between that happening and children getting on and people saying my hands are hot, I'm feeling a tingling in my hands or in my feet. Some people were feeling energy in certain parts of their body where it was working on, or energy coming up and down their arms. It was quite different. I had one gentleman get on the Trinfinity 8 device who, when he was done, he was actually crying, and immediately I was, what's the matter? And he said, I didn't know he was a medical intuitive himself, and I'd never known the person, and he said it felt like I got in touch with my own guidance, and they were sharpening the channel of my own intuitive abilities. And he said, and I saw the guidance behind this machine, which was quite astounding. Now, at the time, he didn't know that how this had come about. And he said, they're all from different dimensions and realms. And he said, and he goes, "Oh, and by the way, your father is here." And he says, and your father just wants to say that he's very proud of you, and that it was money well spent. And what this gentleman didn't know was that my father is deceased, and when my father died, that allowed me some of those resources to be able to help the development process of this device. And that day was the 6-year anniversary of my father's death. So it was a real validation when a lot of these energy workers at the International Society for the Study of Subtle Energy and Energy Medicine were actually seeing the energy change around the people that were on the device. Like I said, I can't see that. One woman telling me that it felt like it was going in looking for pockets of negative energy and clearing them from her, where other ones said she felt like she was clearing past lives. And, other people just coming back and saying, "Wow, look at my skin." So, spiritual experiences profound to anti-aging or physical changes in the body. As again, I have to say, people say, "Well, what can I expect?" And I say, "I don't know. You tell me, come back and tell me and report to me, because this is quite an amazing machine." So I'm going to leave you with that and invite you to go to the website, find out more, maybe find somebody in your area and experience it for yourself. And I hope it gives you a wonderful experience like it has many people that have shared with me their experiences. And I wish you well. Thank you.